Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvonne Princess Shabango. If you are new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And voila, you're part of the graceful, the beautiful, and the wonderful family. We're back with another Employment Wednesday video, and we're here again. Today we're discussing, hey, the big elephant in the room. Take a good guess what the big elephant in the room is. So today we are discussing how to negotiate for a salary during an interview, guys. This is a very important subject that a lot of people shy away from. A lot of people don't want to discuss that because sometimes they're afraid that they may lose the job opportunity. But it's always important to bear in mind the salary you're expecting and how low you're willing to go. So here's step number one. Guys, I always say this. It's always important to research. Before you do anything, you need to research. Because sometimes in the job applications, they won't tell you the salary range. They'll say salary market related, right? Market related. So it means that they're using salary amounts dependent on what's on the market, how much any other person in that particular profession is earning, right? So I'll make an example. If you're a candidate attorney, you'd know that market related salary in Santin means you're going to earn between 12,000 and 30 something thousand rand, and then in a different area, maybe in the Joburg CBD, you may earn from 2,500 to 7,500. So it's always important that you do your research. So before you go for an interview, you do your research. Firstly, you do your research in terms of the salary of the job that you're interviewing for, the job role you're interviewing for. So we're going to work with an example of a candidate attorney or a candidate attorney and a salesperson, right? We're going to work with those two examples. Like I said, candidate attorney in different areas has different market related salary. If it's in Santin, in the city of money and all the vibes, you're likely to get paid more. If it's in the Joburg CBD, a lot of small firms are there, you're likely to get paid less. If it's in a different province, you're also likely to get paid less, but most law firms in Santin actually pay pretty well compared to other law firms. So you need to do your research. So like I said, we'd use an average of between 12,000 rand to 30,000 rand for a candidate attorney in Santin. And then we look at okay, not just Santin in the north, we look at Rosebank, we look at Melrose Arc, we look at Santin. All of those places usually have a high salary market, right? So, and then we look at a salesperson. A salesperson in a shop, in a shopping center, or rather, because I'm trying to avoid to mention big companies, right? So we can work with the size. A salesperson in a small company, or maybe in a spaza or in a small business, is likely to get paid around about 4,000 rand to 7,000 rand, right? Or even less. And then a salesperson in a big company in the north or in a very eloquent area may get paid around about 7,000 rand to 10,000 rand. So once you've done your research, you realize how much are you worth generally, right? And then from doing that, you now then go back to look at what you can offer the company, what you bring to the table. Excuse me, guys, what you bring to the table, right? So once you've established what you bring to the table, I'll make an example. Lawyers work on time. We sell time. Yes, we're going to draft your documents. We're going to appear in court, but we never really charge you for the skill set. We really charge you for the time spent. And then as time goes on, I can charge you because I'm senior in the profession. So we always look at the time that we spend on the work done, right? So as a candidate attorney, you can always, or maybe an associate, let's work with an associate, right? Let's say you're interviewing for a candidate attorney position or an associate position. Associate, you can always pull out track records from other law firms that you've worked for that you can bill more hours. You can make more money for the company when negotiating for a salary. Unfortunately, as a candidate attorney, if you don't have any experience, you might have to use your time management skills and actually show proven track record that you can bring in money for the company, you can bring in business for the company, or you can use your skills like networking skills and also your ability to secure big clients and clients that stay and clients that actually pay, right? That's how you can actually evaluate your worth, because it doesn't always have to be market related. You can always charge higher or lower depending on how much you feel you're worth. Goes the same to the salesperson, right? You can take out a proven track record to say, hey, I've worked for such an insurance and this is the amount of products I've sold. I've sold, this is the amount of money I've made for the company within the year, and this is what I can make for you, right? Because at the end of the day, in as much as we want to be paid good, it's always important to understand whether or not you're actually going to be able to bring in something for the company. Because here's the thing. HR people, or rather companies, are always willing to negotiate, but they always want to know what you bring to the table. What's in it for them? In as much as you want to know what's in it for you, the salary, but what's in it for them? Do you bring in value to the company, right? So once you've established your worth, and you've established the market-related salary, it's important now to get to the figures, guys. Have the exact figure in mind, because here's the thing. Different companies use different ways to actually determine how much you get paid. Some companies will look at what you were being paid at your previous company and try bump up the salary to impress you. And then some companies can give you the same, but I don't know why you would move from one company to the next company being offered the same amount of money and maybe the same work environment. For me, that wouldn't make sense. So they use different methods, right? So you need to have a specific figure in mind and be able to justify that specific figure in mind, right? Same in a sales department, have your figure in mind. If it is 10,000 Rand you want from the next company, you have that figure in mind. And also, once you have the figure in mind, look at the circumstances, the financial circumstances of a company. I would make an example. In a small law firm where maybe a director takes home 20,000 Rand a month, you can't expect to be paid 15,000 Rand as a candidate attorney, because already that's irrational. It doesn't make sense. But you can actually work around saying, okay, fine. Your financial circumstances allow you to pay me 6,000. At best, you can pay me 7,000. I'm okay with that. But then when you work with companies that have a turnover per year that's over 5 million, over 7 million, you can always negotiate for a good salary because they can afford that, because you don't want to also exploit yourself. And then now you are in the interview room. This is how you can handle that question, because half the time that question can be asked, or you can ask the question. So that question can be asked upon you to say, hey, what are your salary expectations? Or you can ask them once they're done, when they say, do you have any questions? You can ask them, what is the salary range, right? And I know a lot of people treat this question as a big elephant in the room because they are afraid that they may be judged, or they may be looked at as, oh no, all she's concerned about is money. Yes, you are concerned about the bag, because this is your time. Time is the most valuable asset a person can ever have. So it's always important to know what you're getting yourself into. So once you're asked the question, what are your salary expectations? So I'll make an example on how you can tackle it directly in the interview room. So your interviewer asks you, Yvonne, what are your salary expectations? And your response would be, I have done adequate research on the market salary of this specific role. And I've established that the market salary is between 5,000 Rand to 15,000 Rand. And upon looking at my abilities and my capabilities, I came to the result that I deserve to be paid 7,000 Rand. Or I am a value of 7,000 Rand, right? Have a specific figure in mind, right? And knowing how recruiters work, they are going to negotiate the salary. So there's a tip that a friend of mine once gave to me. He said to me, if you have a salary in mind, let's say you want to get paid 20,000. Don't say 20,000, take it to 25, so that when they negotiate, you can land up on the amount that you actually really want, right? So they are going to negotiate to say, okay, no, we can only afford we can only afford 5,000 Rand, and how about we give you 5,000 Rand? And always be confident, guys, in your value. So guys, it's always important that you take yourself very seriously, because if you can't take yourself very seriously, also the companies that are interviewing you may not be able to take you seriously. So if you are not happy with the offered salary, don't agree. Actually validate justify your salary request or your desired salary, because there's a specific reason, which is why I say do research, find out what you're worth and your value and the things that your time and your expertise can actually do for the company, and then negotiate accordingly. Because I mean, companies are always ready to negotiate, one thing for sure, and companies always want to know what's in it for them and what value you bring to them. If you can justify that you bring in so much value, and in the long run you can make a specific figure for them, or you can actually grow their business, they're always willing to actually give you what you want. So that's always important, right? And then also, guys, it's always important that you're confident in saying what you're saying. Don't let a recruiter talk you into feeling like you are overcharging. But also in your research, always ensure that you're not overcharging or you're not overreaching. You know, it's always important understanding your actual value within that specific profession, right? Like I said, it's impossible for you as a junior, you don't have expertise and all of that, and expect to charge the same fees as a senior advocate or as a senior director or as a senior legal professional. That doesn't make sense. You know, it's always important to look at circumstances as well. Like in the long run, what are you bringing in? What are you getting from that position? And then also, guys, there are a lot of circumstances to consider when you negotiate your salary. Some people will tell you that they want this specific job to pay for specific expenses. So like, for instance, if you know your expenses are like 50,000 rand a month, it's almost irrational to actually take a job that gives you 10,000 rand a month, because you actually remain on negative, which means your financial needs are not met, right? And then some people will tell you that, oh, actually I can take anything and everything because I need as little as possible to look after my family, as I am a breadwinner. Yes, all of that is important to consider, but mainly consider your expertise, your skill, your value, what you bring into the company. Because in as much as we are in desperate times where we need the money, we need the job and all of that, it's always important to not degrade ourselves in the process of trying to find a job, right? And here's how you can also do it. Have a maximum value of the salary that you want and have a minimum value of the salary that you want, right? Say now you've negotiated and you've stated that you want a salary of 15,000 rand. Also have in mind, how low are you willing to go? If I want a salary of 15,000, I'm willing to go as low as 12,000 rand, right? So I have that in mind, and I vocalized that during the interview to say, actually, my salary expectation is 15,000 rand. Should they counterfeit that and say, oh no, we can't give you 15,000 rand, we want to give you 10,000 rand, then it's also entirely up to me or up to you as an interviewee that actually, no, I cannot take 10,000 rand. I am willing to go as low as 12,000 rand, right? And then when they refuse, you actually say, thank you very much for the opportunity that you've afforded me, but this is how low I can go and this is how high I can go. And I believe that this expectation or this salary expectation is actually justified and it is market related. So yeah, you work around it along those lines, right? And also, guys, avoid entering interview rooms not familiar with the company that you're interviewing for. Like, look at the number of people they employ and what is their general salary payment to people that have the same job title as you, you know, and that will assist you in actually negotiating for a salary. And sometimes it's actually a good thing to say no thank you, because it shows them how you're not desperate or how you're not going to degrade yourself just because you've been offered a specific amount of money. So yeah, that's how it works. Goes the same for a salesperson. I don't think there's any way without a sales experience I'm going to ask to be paid 11,000 rand in the sales industry, especially if that's not what's market related for juniors. So it's always important to look at your peers or people that are also at entry level. How much are they getting paid? People with experience, 5 years experience, 7 years experience, how much are they getting paid? So that even when you note your salary expectation for that particular role, you are able to actually put it within the market range. You know, you're not overreaching or you're not undercharging, because there are circumstances where we are overreaching and there are circumstances where we are undercharging, whereby we're saying, oh no, you know what, I just want to be paid 500 rand as a candidate attorney. But when you think about it, is there a candidate attorney that's being paid 500 rand? If there's none, then you're doing yourself injustice. So yeah, guys, do not forget to like, subscribe, share and comment, and don't forget to tell your friends, to tell their other friends that we're here every Wednesday and there's always something to learn about the process of finding a job. And do not forget to pray for one another. And if you have a specific area you want me to cover in the process of finding a job or in the process of just the employment industry, do leave me inbox on my Instagram at YVGraceful. And yeah, do not forget to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I'll catch you next week with another episode of Employment Wednesdays. Also, tell me how you can better improve the whole question of What are your salary expectations? What was your first reaction when you got that question? How can you do better? And how do you think I can also improve in the near future? Don't forget to be light and love. God bless you.